The courtroom went dead silent, and then Diddy exploded. Security rushed to the front. Reporters gasped. The judge slammed the gavel, calling for order. But nothing could stop what had just been said or the reaction it triggered. Because on the stand, under oath, Sheila E. didn't just speak. She detonated Dot with tears in her eyes and a voice shaking but unwavering. She revealed something Prince allegedly told her just days before his mysterious death, and it named Diddy directly, he said. "If anything happens to me, tell them. It wasn't an accident, and tell them to watch him." And just like that, the room cracked open. Gasps, cries, whispers, and from Diddy. An outburst so explosive it had to be restrained. What followed was chaos, headlines, trending threads, security leaks, and a court that suddenly felt more like a crime docuseries gone off script. This wasn't a celebrity trial anymore. This was a reckoning, Dot, and for the first time, someone from Prince's inner circle had pointed the finger not at a stranger, not at a shadowy figure, but at another legend. A rival, a mogul. Diddy, and the bombshell had only just been dropped. For years, the industry whispered but never out loud. Diddy and Prince, two icons, two worlds. Two very different legacies, locked in a Cold War that most fans never even realized was happening. But behind the closed doors of the music elite, behind the after-parties, private dinners, and label meetings, there was tension. Real tension. And those who knew Prince best, they saw it coming. Let's rewind. Prince, the purple one, the enigma, the genius who controlled everything from his masters to his fashion to his silence. He didn't just make music. He built an empire of independence, a rebel to the core. He fought major labels, dodged industry pressure, and made it clear, I don't need the machine. I am the machine. Now enter Sean Diddy Combs, the mogul maker, the power broker. A man whose empire was built through the very machine. Prince despised labels, brands, influence, wealth. He was the definition of commercial dominance. On the surface, the two rarely crossed paths. But behind the scenes, that was a different story in the early 2000s. Insiders say Prince was offered a co-headlining tour deal with Diddy, arranged through a major entertainment firm. Prince turned it down flat, reportedly calling it a trap and telling his inner circle, I don't share my light with shadows. It was subtle, but scathing. Then came the 2007 Grammy after-party, the one insiders still talk about. Prince arrived unexpectedly. Diddy was already there, hosting, drinking, commanding the room. They crossed paths. What happened next? Eyewitness claims Diddy extended his hand. Prince looked at it, then walked right past him. Another guest said the air went cold. That's when things shifted. In 2011, Prince delivered a cryptic speech during a private benefit concert in LA. There are those who profit from the pain of others, who smile for cameras and dance on graves. The truth always finds the light. People clapped, but those close to him say it wasn't just poetry, it was personal. And one person who knew exactly who he meant. Sheila E. She wasn't just a collaborator, she was family. Prince's spiritual mirror, creative partner. And one of the few people who truly knew what haunted him. She was there during the battles with Warner. She was there during the Vault years. She was there when Prince started telling people he feared. Something was coming for him. After his death in 2016, Sheila vanished from the spotlight, grief-stricken, quiet, and fiercely protective of his legacy, while the world speculated about overdoses and conspiracies. She kept one foot planted in truth and the other in silence until now, because this trial, one original cantered around music rights and private estate battles, took a hard, unexpected turn the moment Sheila E. took the stand. What was supposed to be a standard testimony about Prince's publishing catalog turned into something no one was prepared for, and her words didn't just change the case, they changed the entire narrative. Court transcripts confirm her statement. There were people circling him, powerful people. He said he didn't trust some of them. He said, and I quote, If anything happens to me, tell them to watch him, Diddy. Boom, a name. Spoken under oath, not hinted, not implied, said out loud. In court. N from Diddy. All hell broke loose. He stood up, knocked over a glass, yelled something the court couldn't make out. Cameras weren't allowed, but the audio leaked. Someone, possibly a court employee, sent the clip to a small independent gossip blog. Within minutes, it was everywhere. In the clip, Diddy can be heard shouting over the judge, "That's a lie. That's AF asterisk 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 ing lie." He had to be physically restrained. Outside the courthouse, fans and media crowded in, half in shock, half whispering what many suspected but never dared to say out loud. What did Prince know? Because if Sheila E. wasn't just grieving, she was holding something all these years, then everything we thought we knew about Prince's final days was about to be rewritten. The courtroom had never felt colder after Sheila E. uttered Diddy's name on the stand, not as a theory, not as a hunch, but as Prince's final warning. The oxygen seemed to vanish from the room. Every eye was on her. Even the judge sat frozen, lips parted in disbelief. But Sheila didn't flinch. He said it with fear. She continued. Prince wasn't afraid of much. But that day, something had him rattled. She paused. He said he didn't trust people playing both sides. People smiling in your face while pulling strings in the dark. He said Diddy had power. And that power scared him. The room was dead silent until a distant cough snapped everyone back. Diddy, seated with his legal team, looked pale, tense, fuming. He whispered something to his attorney. The attorney nodded but didn't move. But Sheila wasn't done. She reached into her purse and pulled out a small black notebook, frayed at the edges, pages folded. The courtroom leaned in. This is Prince's private journal. He kept it with him for years. These are his words. Gasps, audible murmurs. He didn't trust digital. He didn't keep things in the cloud. He wrote with a pen every day. Prosecution approached the bench, presenting the notebook as evidence. The judge accepted. Pages were scanned into record, but one page, one specific entry was read aloud. Handwritten, confirmed by Prince's handwriting expert. April 16, 2016, 4 days before he died. I saw him. It's the one they warned me about. Dress sharp, all charm, but energy off. He talks legacy, but watches like a vulture. If I vanish, don't believe the narrative. Find Sheila. She knows. A wave of whispers rushed through the gallery. Prince was talking about someone. Specific, someone close. Someone powerful, and in that courtroom, every eye turned to Diddy. He stood. This is slander. That's not even about me. The judge slammed the gavel. Mr. Combs, sit down or you'll be held in contempt. But Diddy wouldn't. Security moved. Two guards approached. Case team tried to calm him. This is a setup. You don't even know what you're doing. She doesn't know what she's saying. The courtroom was cleared. A recess was called. But it was too late. The damage was done. Because what happened next lit the internet on fire. A voicemail leaked. A 52-second audio file was uploaded by an anonymous Twitter account called @TruthFromPaisley. The tweet had no caption, just an MP3 link titled "For Sheila from P." Within minutes, fans confirmed the voice. Prince, the recording was timestamped. April 17, 2016, 3 days before his death. Sheila, if you get this, just know I saw him tonight. Same venue, he was there. I felt it. Something isn't right. He's moving too close, and not just to me. Protect the vault. Protect what matters if anything happens. Don't stay silent. You know what to do. The internet imploded. Prince knew. He left her a voicemail, a final call. This is real. The vault. The vault. What's in the vault? Hashtags exploded. Hashtag Prince said it. Hash Diddy in court. Hash Sheila et Ruth. Hash the vault. TikTok. Creators began stitching courtroom sketches with audio reenactments. YouTubers uploaded live reactions to the voicemail leak. Fan forums lit up with theories that Prince had encoded messages in his music, hidden documents in Paisley Park, and had been preparing for this confrontation for years. And Diddy. He went dark. No posts, no interviews. His legal team refused to comment, but that didn't stop another twist from surfacing. One blogger at Industry Insider X dropped a timeline breakdown connecting Diddy's business acquisitions from 2015 to 2016 to multiple shell corporations that had bid for Prince's unreleased music catalog. The implication? Diddy wanted the vault. And when Prince refused to sell, the walls started closing in. The blog post included alleged internal memos from a 2016 entertainment summit where Diddy's team discussed the future of urban legacy catalogs. One line stood out. Prince remains the crown jewel. Unstable relationship. Might reconsider under pressure. Fans went wild. Forums accused Diddy of legacy laundering. Some even called for a federal investigation into Prince's death to be reopened. Meanwhile, Sheila E. held a press conference outside the courthouse, tears in her eyes, but voice firm. I didn't want this, but he made me promise. I kept quiet for years, but the moment you speak the truth, everything shakes. And when asked if she feared retaliation, she looked dead at the camera. Let them try. Prince knew who he was dealing with, and so do I. The crowd erupted in applause. Inside the court, the judge ruled that the voicemail would be admissible in the case. And outside, the public was already on trial. Memes flooded in. Protesters showed up with signs reading Prince warned us. Even mainstream media started reporting that Diddy might be subpoenaed for further questioning, not as a witness, but as a person of interest. And then came the cliffhanger. A journalist posted a now viral clip of a court intern overheard on a hot mic, saying, "They haven't even opened the second journal yet." Wait, second journal? There's more. More pages, more entries, more names. And if that second journal says what people think it does, this trial, it won't just shake the music industry. It'll burn it to the ground. They found it in a sealed envelope buried inside a Paisley Park storage crate labeled Private Do Not Open -2016. Archivists discovered what they called the second book. Not a journal this time. Coded memoir. Handwritten by Prince in a spiral notebook, its cover scratched with symbols. Inside, cryptic letters, names abbreviated, dates cross-referenced with song titles, and a timeline that would send shockwaves through the courtroom and beyond. The media called it the vault within the vault. Fans just called it the Black Book. And when forensic analysts confirmed the handwriting, the judge had no choice. It was entered into evidence. That's when it all changed. Because as prosecutors began decoding the entries, they found something devastating. One page. Dated March 28, 2016. A name. Clive D. Another name. DC, then a line. Almost illegible. But not quite. They're circling again. Clive delivered the offer. DC wants control, not distribution. Told him no. He said it wasn't optional. The courtroom gasped. DC Diddy Combs. Clive D. Allegedly Clive Davis. Legendary music executive. Now a second name had entered the ring. The story exploded. Prince warned us about two music kings, not one. Clive Davis, now tied to vault conspiracy. Who else was in the room? As fans rushed to re-listen to Prince's 2015 hit Run Phase 2 album, TikTok exploded with theories. One user dissected the lyrics of Baltimore, claiming it secretly referenced black kings killing kings. Another said Prince's track Stare had a buried message about watching your back while smiling at the front row. Twitter melted. Hashtag the Black Book, hashtag Prince knew, #Clive and Diddy, #legacy heist. The media circus was relentless. Even respected journalists began tiptoeing around the topic, terrified of being blackballed. Still, one investigative podcast dropped a bombshell interview with a former music catalog broker who confirmed the worst. Prince's vault was being circled by every major exec in the industry before his death. The offers were aggressive, but someone, I won't name them, implied things would move faster. I have Prince stopped being an obstacle. Host: are you saying he was threatened? Not directly, but let's just say the pressure wasn't creative. It was financial and personal. The episode gained over 3 million plays in 24 hours. Then came the industry response. Clive Davis released a 2-line statement through his legal team. These baseless allegations are untrue. I am cooperating fully with any inquiry. Diddy, still silent. But his legal rep hinted at possible defamation countersuits and accused Sheila E of weaponizing grief. Still, no one could shut down the second journal's existence, especially not after the next twist dropped. A court reporter leaked the unredacted version of another journal page, one not meant to go public. In it, Prince refers to a mysterious meeting in LA 1 week before his death. The room was cold. I was outnumbered. He was there, sunglasses on, inside. Kept saying, "You're bigger than your catalog. Don't make this messy." I walked out. Told Sheila it's getting close. A photo surfaced just hours later, allegedly taken outside the building that night, and in the photo, a blurry figure standing near Prince. Tall, sunglasses matching Diddy's known wardrobe from that week. The caption, "He was there." Public opinion flipped from speculation to pure outrage. People began showing up to the courthouse with signs that read, "Protect Prince's legacy." The vault wasn't for sale. Silence equals complicity. Even Rolling Stone, once hesitant, ran the headline, "Did Prince predict his own industry execution?" Meanwhile, Sheila E sat silently in the gallery, calm, composed, waiting until the judge made the next shocking announcement. Due to the new evidence and its relation to unreleased assets, this case is being reclassified as a matter of federal jurisdiction. Additional subpoenas will be issued. Translation: more people were about to be dragged in. Then came the final reveal of the day. A former Paisley Park engineer, protected by anonymity, sent a sworn affidavit to the court. In it, they confirmed that shortly before his death, Prince had installed hidden security cameras in the vault room, and the footage still exists, unreviewed, unreleased. But the court now has permission to access it. And if that footage shows who entered the vault, it confirms that Prince confronted anyone about pressure, threats, or coercion. Then this isn't just a trial about music rights anymore. It's about legacy. Manipulation. It's about an artist who knew the end was coming and recorded every step. And at the center of it all, Diddy, Clive, the vault. And a circle of silence that's finally being shattered. As the day's session ended, reporters shouted questions. Protesters gathered. Sheila E walked out to a sea of cameras. And when asked if she thought justice would be served, she said, "We're not even halfway through the truth." Then she disappeared into a black SUV, and just as the courthouse doors closed, a breaking alert hit every phone. Federal agents issued digital subpoena for Prince's vault surveillance tapes. What's on those tapes? What did Prince capture? And most of all, who else is about to be exposed? The silence didn't last long. Within minutes of the federal subpoena going public, the music industry fractured into 2 distinct camps, and the noise was deafening, because now it wasn't just Prince's voice echoing from beyond. It was millions of fans, dozens of celebrities, and a global audience asking the same question: was Prince trying to protect his legacy or warn us about the people trying to erase it? Questlove posted a long, heartfelt message on Instagram. Prince was never paranoid. He saw the game before the rest of us even knew we were pieces on the board. This journal is real, and I believe it is. We owe him everything. Janelle Monáe, long seen as a spiritual protege of Prince, tweeted, "He tried to tell Us, they called him difficult, controlling what he really was careful. But not everyone came to praise. An unnamed industry source speaking to Variety claimed, "These accusations are dangerous. We can't allow one artist's private thoughts to turn into public executions of people who've done nothing wrong." That comment only fueled the fire, because two fans, especially those who had idolized Prince, not just as an artist, but as a revolutionary. This wasn't just about music anymore. This was justice. Justice for Prince. #Protect the Vault. #Diddy knew. #Who is in the room all trending. All surging across platforms. On TikTok, creators launched entire series breaking down the journal entries' timelines and hidden lyrics in Prince's later work. One creator's viral video had over 10 million views when he sang, "You can burn up my clothes, smash up my ride." He wasn't talking about a lover. He was talking about legacy vultures. Look at the context. Look at who circled him in the final year. Meanwhile, YouTube exploded with reaction videos dissecting the voicemail, the courtroom testimony, and the meaning behind Prince's final shows, specifically the cryptic stripped-down performance just days before his death, where he said, "Wait until you hear what's in the vault. Then you'll understand." Even major podcasts jumped in. Disgraceland dropped a bonus episode titled "Purple Lies Prince." Diddy and the music industry's darkest secret drink champs edited an entire Diddy episode offline without explanation. Joe Rogan, in a rare, serious segment, said, "If Prince recorded the people trying to corner him, and we get that footage, we're looking at a full-blown takedown of the music elite." And then came the real chaos. Prince's fan base, the Purple Army, mobilized petitions, #live protests outside Sony and Universal Music offices. One petition titled "Release the Vault" footage gained over 500,000 signatures in 2 days outside the courthouse. Fans gathered in purple, holding signs that read, "Prince said watch him. We want the tapes. No more industry lies." Even mainstream news outlets couldn't ignore the wave. CNN ran a primetime segment titled "Prince's Legacy on Trial, Conspiracy or Cover-Up." BBC interviewed former Prince engineers, one of whom said there were days he wouldn't let anyone in the studio. "I think he knew he was being watched." But the most shocking response came from Lenny Kravitz. He posted a story, late at night, just for words, "I heard the tape." That single sentence sent fans into a frenzy. What tape? Did Prince confide in Lenny? Is Lenny the next to testify? Diddy's team, meanwhile, went into total crisis control. His attorney released a vague, legally scrubbed statement. Mr. Combs denies all allegations, spoken or implied. He has never threatened or coerced Mr. Nelson in any way. Still, Diddy remained out of sight. Not a single tweet, no IG story, no interview. Which only made it worse. Where is Diddy? In hiding, guilty silence. And then yet, another twist. A former security guard at a 2016 industry party in Beverly Hills came forward in an exclusive interview with the Shade Room. "I saw Prince that night. He looked rattled, said someone was trying to buy him out of his own life. I didn't get it back then, now I do." Boom, the streets were talking, the fans were watching, and the world waiting, because now the pressure wasn't just on the court, it was on the vault. A vault. On the footage, on the truth. And for the first time, the industry giants who thought they were untouchable were now the ones being watched. It started with a Dropbox link. No watermark, no context. Just a message posted anonymously to Reddit, then reposted to X from the vault. Unedited, timestamped, decide for yourself. Within minutes, thousands clicked it. Within 10, it was all over social media. Within an hour, news outlets were scrambling to verify what looked like raw surveillance footage from inside Prince's vault room captured by the hidden cameras. Sheila E. hinted at in court. And what it showed? Chilling. The clip dated April 18, 2016, 2 days before Prince's death, shows Prince entering the vault at 1:37 a.m. He appears tense, glancing over his shoulder, holding something in his hand later identified as a mini cassette recorder. He sets it down, speaks to the camera directly. If you're watching this, something happened. I wasn't reckless. I wasn't weak. But there were people who wanted more than just my music. They wanted my silence. Then muffled voices from the hallway. Prince quickly shuts off the light, but the night vision mode keeps rolling. 2 figures enter the room, faces partially visible. One tall, broad-shouldered, the other in a hat. And one of them says a sentence that stops the world cold. You either sign or they take it. You choose. Prince doesn't respond. The figure continues. Diddy said, "Don't make this harder than it has to be." Boom. Clip ends. But the internet doesn't. Within seconds, #Vault leak trends worldwide, Diddy said, becomes the most searched phrase on Google. CNN, TMZ, and MSNBC all break into programming to confirm. The footage appears authentic. But then, as chaos unfolds, Diddy makes a move no one expected. At 4:29 p.m., Diddy's Instagram goes live. No post, no caption. It's just a black screen. And his voice. I've stayed silent out of respect for the legal process. But now? You want a villain? Fine. I'll be your villain. He pauses. But don't forget, I'm not the only one in that room. Then he ends the live. 20-5 seconds. That's all it took. The comment section imploded. Is he confessing? Who else was in the room? It just got deeper than music. Then another notification. Breaking. Diddy leaves the country on private jet headed to Antigua. And just like that, he's gone. No formal statement. No attorney response. No location shared. Just a digital smoke bomb dropped on the internet and a trail of questions no one is ready to answer. Meanwhile, the court is now working with federal investigators. The judge orders a full review of the footage and the identities of the individuals captured in the vault that night. And Sheila E. She posts one message. He left us the truth. Now we follow it. The world watches because now it's not just about Diddy. It's not even just about Prince. It's about every voice that was silenced. Every vault that was breached. Every truth that was buried in the name of fame and fortune. And as the investigation expands, one thing becomes clear. This story isn't ending in the courtroom. It's just getting started. And there it is. The footage, the voice, the threat. Prince warned us. Sheila E. confirmed it. And now the entire world has seen the moment that was never meant to be seen. The moment when power, fear, and legacy collided in one silent vault. But the question is, what happens now? You believe Diddy was involved? Or is this a masterfully edited setup? Who was the second person in the room that night? And why haven't they come forward? Is this just the beginning of the truth Prince tried to leave behind? Drop your theories in the comments. Every clue, every timeline, every piece of the puzzle you've noticed. We're featuring the most explosive breakdowns in the next video. Are you team #Justice for Prince? Do you think the vault should be made public? Or do you think the industry is about to silence this story again? If this story shocked you, if it shook you, smash that like button right now. Subscribe and turn on notifications because what we just witnessed was only the first drop. Word on the street is a new witness is coming forward. And their testimony could bring multiple empires crashing down. You've been watching Hot Treens. Stay locked in. The vault is open now, and what comes out next might change music history forever.